We are Team Ojama, and today we're going to be talking about ban list predictions post Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was supposed to be no later than August, and we're about halfway.
Yeah, I mean,
August.
like 2 weeks, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So why don't we get started with archetype focus, like in terms of
By archetype?
Yeah, by archetype. Let's go with what won, which is Trickstars.
Trickstars.
Yeah, I guess I'm being kind of biased since I like Trickstar, pure Trickstar anyway, but well, One World wasn't really Trickstar. It was more Cyber Dragon. It was more Cyber Dragons, Eater of Millions, and Inspect Border of early One Worlds. But I mean, in retrospect, it was mostly Floodgates that really like let him win. It was just goes and match and things like that. Really.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, it was the fact that Trickstars are a deck that can utilize all that without bricking in comparison to other decks that cannot utilize all that. So
that's true.
So
yeah, but if I want to be like fair, the hits for that deck specifically, I would probably say Reincarnation of 1, obviously.
Yeah.
Even though I would be really sad though I got hit to 1, but I mean, I think that it's pretty fair to go to 1. Then I would personally say Light Stage to 1, or maybe to 2, or hit Terraforming to 1, but it's either vice versa.
Well, I think that's like something that is something that Konami would not do in terms of hitting terraforming, maybe not even hitting Light Stage. Like I feel like if Konami does hit something, it would be Kandina, because they do like hitting Stratuses. They do like hitting those kind of archetype focused decks. They probably will hit Reincarnation. It's something that was on the ban list, or what people figure would be on the ban list for a very long time. So I think it was about time that Konami does it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but personally, because I like definitely to keep things more in rotation with, being viable, but still being hits, but still being within the meta. But this is Konami, of course, so I think that Reincarnation and Candida are going to get the axe.
Yeah, I mean, it would be sad to say Candina, but I would agree. It's not hard once per turn either. If you just normal summon it again, you just keep going. It surges itself too, which is deck thins at that point.
But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't necessarily approve of it. What do you think, Ojama Yellow?
I'm thinking Reincarnation to 1 for sure. And I agree about Light Stage. Light Stage.
It's just a very powerful
It's gonna get hit,
spell.
but I don't know if it'll be 1 or 2. Because if it's 2, then the deck will still be playable. If it's 1, it's like...
It's just a very strong field spell. I mean, the Rhoda effect is really good, but it's not just that. It's the Night Beam effect that makes it like over the top sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Besides Trickstar, I would have to say the second deck that want to be Altergeist. I mean, with Altergeist though, I mean, in all fairness, I think it's a pretty fair deck in comparison to most other decks like Goki or Trickstar, because I mean it needs a set up first turn, which makes it fairer. I mean, the only thing I could really think of personally, I don't play the deck, so I can't really say. I mean, some people want Meliseek to be put to 1. I disagree with that. I mean, if anything, they put Multi-Faker to 2, or maybe just slightly touch it, but I wouldn't say straight out like limit anything. So there's nothing really there that's really unfair.
Well, I always found that kind of there's this paradox that people, you go into Worlds and then you do really well with this one deck, but I think it's kind of an unfair bias in that sense, because the metagame for World is not like TCG or OCG. It's 2 different card games realistically in many senses, because like you're minimizing every single aspect from the TCG and the OCG. So it's a different meta entirely, and then I don't think that's a really fair thing to do. So if they did hit Altergeist, as an Altergeist player myself, I think Multi-Faker would be the strongest hit. It would make reliance on getting your personal spoofing off much more relevant. Meliseek to 1 does hurt. There is ways to get it back, obviously, with Marionetter and personal spoofing once again to get into the cards. But it is absolutely right that in terms of search power and draw power, Altergeist is the weakest of the meta decks to that. They don't have that power like every other deck.
You just don't need a 1 turn to set up, unlike most other decks.
Yeah, I mean, like they literally only run like four spells at most, so it's like their consistency level is pretty low in that regard. Well, Ojama Yellow. Altergeist?
I haven't seen it that much, but looking at it, probably multi-faker. Multi-faker to 2.
Yeah,
exactly. Would be how it turns out.
Just a soft tap.
Yeah, exactly. Because it really
drastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't done anything here in the TCG.
It'd be just to say, yeah, we hit it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what he did with Tower Knights in a way. It's instead of hitting the main deck,
they hit
it's hit Rhoda.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean the big elephant in the room I would say would probably be Goki's.
Yeah.
Because because the representation alone at Worlds was insane. Apparently, with how many Goki players there were. Yeah. Even the most recent regional that I was at in Pasadena, the top decks, the majority of it was Goki.
I definitely believe that Goki will get the axe. I think Konami is not blind to its prevalence. Even in OCG, it does have small prevalence in itself. It's slightly overshadowed due to needle fiber having prevalence in that too, because it's the same. It's realistically the same thing.
And Maxi.
Yeah. But in terms of Goki, it's kind of like a multi-headed Hydra. There's many ways. There's many layers to it in which you need to kill the deck if that's what you really want to. I know a lot of people want to see that. They want to see Goki slaughtered, dead, done with completely. I mean, and there are actually some people that within the Southern California actually that are working around it. People are playing Heroes.
Just play the Dark Engine.
Yeah. They play the Dark Engine with Malicious, So people already know a fallback when they see it, and that's pretty much what people are going for. It's okay, Goki's going to get banned, or going to get hit, so we'll go back to Elemental Hero, or specifically Malicious, as a Dark Engine in order to go it off. But let's get started, at least finish up the Goki. So what do you think Goki will get hit in the battles?
Gokis themselves, I would say the major one would probably be Goki Rematch. I would say, people think it's kind of harsh for me to say this. I'm disgusted with people. I would say Rematch banned. Mostly because there's already so many extenders in the game at the moment. You have Monster Reborn, you have 3 or Legacy Succession, you have Fossil, Living Fossil. You have so many different extenders in the game at the moment.
Soul Charge is still
Soul Charge. In the deck you play so many extenders, and you don't. It's a searchable Infinity Launcher, and Infinity Launcher is at one of the panels for a reason. So and it's just too good of a card, because on top of that, if you get that off, any Nightmare is usually a Goblin, and you just keep on going from there. And speaking of Goblin, I personally don't think Firewall is going to get hit. I just think that's just me personally. Other people may disagree with me, but if Firewall does not get hit, in my personal opinion, I don't think it would. But I think that probably Goblin will get banned because of that, to stop the extra link plays. And then I know it's a very random one, but I would say Mermaid on top of that, because without Mermaid, it's a lot harder to U-lock you, and it's a little bit harder to get the Ibli out to stop you from special summoning. So at least it'll be easier to kaiju something out of the way, so you at least actually can attempt to make a board at that point.
Well, it's if you're talking about, when we're talking about Gokis, I do believe that Rematch would be the best card to hit. I think Suprex is fine. Octastretch, all the monsters are fine. They're fine.
It's not the most.
It's the fact that they do have a searchable, very very easily searchable, by the way, extender, which is twice Monster Reborn realistically. So and it's not hard to fulfill the condition you have to do it too. And it's harder to stop, because it's just you just bring those monsters out. If you DD curl one target, okay, I still get a Monster Reborn,
which is ridiculous.
It's really just like a searchable Monster Reborn, and already there's Monster Reborn at 1, Infinity Launchers at 1. There's just too many cards that that when you get that much advantage, and they're limited for a reason, and then that's the main thing. In terms of the Firewall and Goblin and all that, the Nightmare, I guess, would be the next archetype, I guess, would be on that focus. If Firewall does not get hit, I'm on kind of on the board that it may get hit and it may not. A lot of people say, it should get hit. It's done. It's not once per turn. It's stupid. But I believe that if a card can be saved, it should be saved. And Firewall's redeeming factor is the fact that its extension is really brutal, and that's very true. But that stems mostly from Nightmares being generic link, Goblin giving so much advantage, Phoenix giving so much advantage. There's so much advantage in combination with the Firewall and the Goki, or not Goki, Nightmares, that it inclusively it's just demoralizing to face an extra linked board that you can't deal with. Right. So I do feel that Goblin or Firewall should get get hit. We'll get the axe, at least from Konami's point of view. Right. I don't know which one. I think Firewall more than Goblin, because more people are crying for Firewall to get hit. But one of those two will probably get the axe.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for a rematch to go to 1 instead of just getting banned straight up?
With Goblin or Firewall gone, I think that's fine.
That'd be fine.
But I think they would have to both of them would have to get limited. Or actually, no,
Yeah.
Goblin would have to be banned, or Firewall would have to be banned in order for rematches to stay at 1.
Because I'm thinking rematch would go to 1, Goblin would get banned, and Firewall would stay. But if people bitched about it some more, then it'll become it'll get errated. That's what I'm thinking.
And that's the thing. But even for erratas, it just takes a while for that to happen. But
True.
I don't know. It just depends on what they decide to do. Because rematch, it would be 1 or banned, depending on what they do.
Yeah, I don't think like people are crying for a Phoenix Blade to get hit. I don't think that will be hit.
No.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think that's kind of illogical. Isolde will get hit. I don't think so.
No,
Noble Knights are getting more support, so it's Soul Fusion was called, so no reason to do that. What else? People were saying like some of the Goki monsters, but then once again,
because people are saying like Suprex to 1, but it's like
rematch.
even if you don't have Suprex, you still have Junk Forward. You still have Running Captain. You still have Terratop, if you really want to play that. There's so many different ways. There's a lot of extenders.
There's actually a lot of decks that run
They still run it, because why not?
I mean, it's still Invoker, and speaking of Invoker, like,
exactly.
I mean...
and that's Invoker,
people are saying maybe Invoker should get hit, but it's like, I don't know how I feel about that personally. I mean, it's just something to bring up, I guess, but...
I don't, the thing is that they use it as kind of like a secondary engine. It's not a reliable engine either, you know.
It just bait.
Exactly. It's just like, I don't feel the consistency in Goki is high enough, and it's super high, of course, as you guys would know. But it's like, okay, so then I'll add these 2 cards, which is Terratop and Tonka Torbarn, and suddenly now I have MX Invoker, and that's a whole new play entirely, you know, so. Yeah. But I think that covers the major hits. What else do you think? I guess we could put into the general archetype category, so to speak. Because I guess you could say we did 4, because we did Nightmares, Goki, Trickstars, and Altergeist.
What else is meta relevant?
Sky Strikers, but I mean, I think again it'll be a soft touch more than anything, because I think it's relatively still new, and plus the OTS packs coming out, making a lot of the things, and like they're making Kigari ulti, and they're making the token like in there too. So I don't really. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I think it would be smart to limit drone, mostly because it's a good engine. Like I'm playing in Crusadia just as an engine just to like get out my summons, and it's ridiculous. But because it's not hard once per turn, so you just keep on using it. But I don't think it'll get hit yet. I think next. Yeah, I think like the banlist after this one will probably like hit drone, but that'll be after.
Yeah, I do agree that Sky Strikers will not get even touched. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's even going to get touched at all.
Not yet.
Because there's no reason for it. Pure Sky Strikers are currently not as overbearing as Gokis or even Trickstars for that matter. It's just more okay, here's an additional engine. How many engines can I put into this car, which is TCG in its entirety? How many engines can I put into this car? How many can I put in this train to make it go? You know, that's just the way it's built. So. But I guess
that's it for hits. I mean, I can't really think of anything on the top of my head that really needs to be hits, quote unquote, besides like the main archetypes, really.
I mean, I agree. There's some controversial ones like Soul Charge. People think that Soul Charge should be hit.
I don't agree with that.
I think it's fine where it is at 1. It's very sacky, of course, but the thing is that if you can already extend as far as you can go, how far can you actually go with that additional Soul Charge on top of that? Like,
it just depends on the deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like Goki's like definitely if you top deck the Soul Charge when they wipe your board for something, it's game over already. But then like you know, it's like at that point, you just top decked it. It's kind of like okay, whatever, and you still don't have a battle phase, so you can't kill them on that turn. You reset your board, but you can't kill them anyway. So it's like I think that's a fair enough assessment on my part when it comes to that.
Blue Eyes agrees.
Well, then what? Okay, then so that'd be it for limits. I'm assuming. Anything that could come back to 2, or anything that should be semi-limited.
A lot of stuff I want to come back to 2.
Honestly, that I think that he would do.
Yeah, that's an important thing. It's separating our wants to what Konami will
actually come back.
Yeah,
I mean, I want Seer back to 3, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, look at the ban list.
And then we can see what's likely.
But cards that I guess from the top of my head that are limited that will probably experimentally come back. I think Tribe Infecting Virus.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not oppressive. It's a very slow card.
Here's a list of limited cards.
Most of these
they seem like they should stay where they are.
Yeah, well,
Diva should stay at 1 still.
No, Diva definitely needs to stay at 1 because
Diva has to stay at 1.
Well, anything that's semi-limited I can think of.
Dynamite Knight?
No. Dynamite is ridiculous still.
Oh yeah, we forgot True Dracos. But then once again, that's more of a real.
Because True Draco has been topping recently, but hasn't really been winning. True. It's more so like top cut, but hasn't been winning.
It'll start winning when Dynamite Knight comes back to.
Well, because Dynamite Knight does so good. It surges Apocalypse.
Seer and Graph have to stay at 1.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think this is me trying to be unbiased. Graph, it would be more fair to come back than Seer, but I don't think Graph will ever come back.
I don't think Konami's going to touch the Burning Abyss due to Burning Abyss still not having the monster out.
And it's somewhat being relevant again because.
What about Infinity Archfiend?
No.
Insector, Dragonfly.
It causes too much.
And Hornet.
Yeah.
Hornet and Dragonfly could have came off last couple lists ago when they had the Link monster come out, which they should have been out a long time ago. They're just gonna come off a list in my opinion, but they're never going to be.
Right.
I mean, if it does, then it's Konami just finally overlooking the ban list, saying,
that's right. We forgot to free that.
And then anything else that coming to 2, I mean, I would say maybe Book of Moon. This experiment with it, I guess.
That's true. Because there's so many monsters that have Book of Moon effects. So how's that gonna hurt?
But I think when it comes to the limited list, I think that generally they'll be fine. Like, there's plenty of plenty of cards I want to come off of it, but then it's not something I perceive that Konami will change.
Do you think
Gateway is
I mean, 6 Ams haven't. I mean, they've topped recently.
They topped recently, but it wasn't really so much the 6 Ams. It was mostly the extra deck.
It was extra deck. It was the
new number monster.
Yeah, number 86 lock.
Yeah,
which I guess you could say it's kind of like the same thing that they did when Zexal Utopia Zexal.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Was a lock. It's kind of like the same thing.
And I mean, Gateway I guess could go to 2 just to see how it goes, but I mean, I don't know if Konami will do that. It's just kind of there, I guess.
1 day a piece?
No.
Still no?
No.
Stall cards generally are not perceived to be good. Yeah, they're not healthy for the game, especially with the current game state and the match procedures is just not.
And speaking of, I was about to say Ring of Destruction come back to 3, but within the match procedures, I don't know. I mean, Ring of Destruction might have 2 because of that.
Looking at the semi-limited, like TG Hyper Liberian, I think, because I think that was put back to 2 last one.
Yeah.
And then it's not doing anything, so
it can come back to 3. It's not gonna do anything.
Yeah. Same thing with Burrow from a different dimension. It hasn't changed anything. It'll probably go to 3 without any problems whatsoever. Same thing with Cold 4 Towers. Pretty much most of the stuff that's actually on the semi-limited list
can just
free him.
The only thing that may not be would be Necroface, but then that's
Necroface is just another. It's just a tough one.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that got free. So.
Yeah, of course. I think they will expand on the semi-limited. I think they will add definitely more cards back into 2 and probably bring a couple more in because our current semi-limited list is only 5 cards or something like that.
Yeah, so and I mean the only card I think that should probably come off the list would probably be. I mean, I don't know. I think Konami might do this to bring Maxi back, maybe to 3 or maybe to 2 just to see how it goes.
I hope it's not 1.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It has to be at 3 or 0. It can't be at 1. Gets very sacky. 2, it's kind of whatever because people usually main deck 2 inside another one.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the thing. I mean, if Maxi was around, Goki wouldn't be as much of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe Maxi back to 3, but that's if kind of feels just to do so.
I do feel that perhaps we may see Witch of the Black Forest and Exiton Knight come back because those two were errated, but they have not come off the ban list, and that's kind of leaving that big question mark above people's heads. Now. So it's like, when are you going to come back? When is it going to come back?
Well, it could be like Construct too, because I mean, in Japan, Construct just recently came back. And that was much after the link came out. So, I mean, it could be possible. Like, I could start
it is possible because, Shadal Refusion got reprinted and Winda got reprinted. So, I think they might do Cards of Consonance with it again.
Oh, just limit Winda
and bring back Construct for 1.
Which would be an interesting way to do it.
I mean, I don't think it would change anything.
It wouldn't. It would be fine.
Because Winda in itself was actually a tech choice between some like 60 card decks, like search decks.
Sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that covers pretty much all of our Konami mentality ban list. I mean, like maybe next week or something we'll probably come up with a kind of like a ban. We'll go over the whole ban list and kind of figure out what we want.
Personal ban list.
Yeah, kind of like a personal want ban list sort of a thing, But, I mean, like, Megatins are coming out in a couple weeks, so that'll kind of really bring to light what's I guess, answers to the ban list that may come out.
Yeah.
So, I guess that covers everything.
Those were the forbidden ones, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
They pretty much stay there. Maxi is the only one that, that hopefully comes back.
Alright, well that about wraps it up. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned to Duelist because the fun is just getting started.